greatest of all time, that's who I am. I never take a day off, I fight until I win.
What's up team, Josh from 𝙍𝙖𝙢𝙢𝙙 Vale. We are in the heart of Christchurch on Ferry Road where we're about to meet two great men, 𝙍𝙧𝙢𝙢𝙢 and Shannon from Sledgehammer Boxing, who are trailblazing the way of fitness and mindset for young men and women, taking charge of their health and their bodies. If you're ready to drop the hammer, let's go check them out. All right team, Shannon, 𝙍𝙧𝙢𝙢𝙢, Sledgehammer Boxing, how good? Thanks for having us here. Firstly, how did Sledgehammer Boxing come together? Like, how did you get into boxing? How does Sledgehammer Boxing come to fruition?
I could probably take that one first, Josh. I come from a family we're on our second generation of boxers. We've got 7 family members that have all boxed. So it's just a progression from that. My brother started, I followed him in, my brother followed me in, his sons followed us in, and now my son's here at Sledgehammer Boxing learning the craft.
How good. So this has really gone through the family generations right now.
That's pretty much where the basis of Sledgehammer Boxing comes from, and then we ended up both training out of our garages. 𝙍𝙧𝙢𝙢𝙢 at his place, I was at my place, and we just decided to combine forces and come up with Sledgehammer Boxing.
Beautiful. And so that was founded in 2020?
Correct.
Good, good. And so how did you two meet? Like, were you the coach? Were you the sort of the boxer, the fighter? Like, how did you sort of bring forces together?
Yeah, so Shannon was the boxing coach, as he said. I was kickboxing, wanted to upskill my boxing, so come and done some work with Shannon. Fell in love with boxing basically and made the transition, committed to boxing full time, and then we built a relationship over the period of a few years, and it's blossomed into what it is today.
Beautiful, yeah. Beautiful. So it really has blossomed, it's taken off.
Yeah.
You got the guys and the girls training in the background. So it's like been a family growing up, like it's been through the family for you boxing. You originally were kickboxing.
Yes.
What is it about boxing that's made it so special that A, you've committed to boxing full time?
Yes.
And that's kept you showing up in the boxing career too?
For me, it would be the difference. Kickboxing is like, who's the toughest? It's a real like car crash of a sport, you know? Whereas boxing's more of a thinking man's game, I think. And it's almost like one of those sports, it's impossible to clock. So you're always getting better and always upskilling, and you think you know something, and then open that door and there's a whole new world of things you got to learn, and it's just very addictive. The camaraderie, you get to challenge yourself in so many ways, you know, physically, mentally, spiritually. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, I love it.
So you sort of from checkers to chess, really becoming more strategic.
Yes, nothing against the kickboxers. They're the toughest, we're the smartest.
Oh, that's good, that's good. And Shannon, what keeps you coming back for the boxing? It's such a strong love in the family.
Yeah, it's one of those sports that once you've been a part of it, it's like 𝙍𝙧𝙢𝙢𝙢 said, it's pretty addictive, it's hard to give up. And we always think that we've still got another show left in us, you know. That's why a lot of the greats just stay in the sport too long, because you just can't get away from it. It's a pretty cruel mistress.
Yeah, one more, you feel like you've got one more fight in you.
Always feel like you got one more in you.
Good.
Yeah.
And so, hey, one more in you started off in humble beginnings, both in garages, combined forces. How did you come from garages into what you have now? What's been some of the sort of lessons or part of the journey that's taking you to this level?
Well, we got offered an opportunity to take over another gym's lease. That fell through, and through circumstance wanted to shift out of the garage, so I just started hunting through the different spaces available. One fell over, another one fell over, and then we found this place, and then the more we learned about fire ratings and how many people you're allowed in buildings and whether you can actually use a space like this to run a gym, that's how we ended up here. Basically, we just decided through a bit of homework, this was the best space for us anyway.
So it was a lot of trial and error, like it wasn't a smooth, straight line. There was a lot of ups and downs, little setbacks, but it's just like a fight. When you get knocked down, you get back up, you dust yourself off, adapt, position, attack. So what else has sort of brought you here? Like, how could you say?
I would say our shared passion for genuinely wanting to help people. You know, Shannon come from his garage, had a bunch of clients. I had the same. We come together and we've built this community where people are strengthening their lives across all boards. We provide that platform through teaching them how to box, but to be honest, like the boxing is probably 20% of it. The other 80%, you're almost like a therapist. Like every single person in this gym right now, you know them inside out. Like you can read them like a book. You know, a lot of people have got relationship dramas, financial dramas, addictions, whatever it may be. We can read the signs weeks before they happen when our members are going to implode, you know. So we play such a heavy role of, I'm not going to say therapist, but just a person they can lean on when they need it, and I feel they're very open with us, you know, because we're vulnerable with them too and very open with them, and we've just created beautiful personal relationships with all of our members, and I feel like that's what's keeping us going, keeping us growing, and keeping us strong. Yeah.
So there's it's not just training for the ring, it's training for life.
It really is.
And it's not just 20% physical, but 80% mental.
Fuck yeah, it is.
And when you're getting punched in the face, figuratively, it shows the true test of character.
Yes.
It shows the true test of hardship. What has been some of the key sort of elements that helped you develop the culture that Sledgehammer Boxing has and keeps growing? What's been a few tips or tricks that you've done there?
Well, we have a saying here at Sledgehammer Boxing, and that's everything shows up under the lights. So whatever you're doing, good and bad, shows up under the lights on fight night. So if you're out there drinking, partying, not training, it's going to show up. You know, boxing's truth, and when you're under that lights and up on a stage, you can't hide from that truth. Okay, so that's one of the sayings that we use, is that everything shows up under the lights, good and bad. So however you want that to play out is up to you. So that extends to what happens in the gym as well as what happens outside of the gym. So that's that crossover that Jabe's referring to, where we play a role in people's lives outside of the gym, so that we can make sure or help them show up under the lights, because they're only here for, let's say, an hour and a half, 5 or 6 days a week. That leaves a lot of time for the devil's playground.
Yes, and every single day. I think it was Muhammad Ali was saying it wasn't the ring or the training, it was dodging the girls and the nightclubs and being in bed at 9 p.m. at night. Yeah. Doing that consistently, getting ready for the fight. So it's, everything shows up in the lights. That's a good one. Oh, under the lights?
Everything shows up under the lights.
Everything shows up under the lights. Jabe, have you got any there?
We're also, so like with our kaupapa, we're really big on no negative self-talk, no gossiping in the gym. Like if we hear, it can be frustrating when you're trying to learn a new technique, and if we hear them say, oh, I'm never going to get this, then we'll shut that down and just teach them that it's a journey, just like life, you know, and we like to live a bit of life. I've lived a bit of life, and we like to just use our experiences to share some wisdom, you know, and just try to strengthen the mind with everyone. That's the big one here.
Yeah, the mind's the biggest part, basically, and it refers to practicing disciplines, and they might be little ones like make sure you bring a mouth guard. You know, you can't train without a mouth guard. You know, make sure you're here on time. You know, otherwise you've got to pay fees, and they might only seem like little small things, but if I need you to follow instructions at the end of the second round, and I think this is what's going to help you get victory, you may not want to do that. So by just practicing a discipline that you don't want to do every time, it's going to help. Once again, under the lights, where everything shows up.
Well, it seems to be the common thread under the lights. It's like it's the details, it's the discipline, it's the structure, it's the hard work, it's the raw effort that you cannot hide, you cannot cheat. So it sounds like, I see that you guys are doing a lot of inspiring sort of content. I've watched you guys, I've followed you guys. It's very exciting. I feel like you've got a bright future. Let everyone know, what does the future look like for Sledgehammer Boxing?
Wow. World champions. We changing lives, you know, giving the men and women in here skills to pass on to their children, let their friends, their family know. Just empowering people to be strong individuals across the board, you know. We see us having a a bigger place. We want a place big enough where we can hold our own fight nights. We want to work with, shoot for the moon, right? You know, we want to work with as many people as we can, help as many people as we can, and go around the world with fighters.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be lying if I said that training a world champion, or at least getting someone to the bright lights of Vegas or London or over in Saudi Arabia or something like that. Of course we want to be able to take people there, but we're enjoying just being able to drop bombs in people's lives and just change the trajectory of their life. So for us, the future for us looks like continuing what we're doing to play a positive part in people's lives, and from that, let's build together to achieving those lofty goals.
They say less than 10% of all businesses that start off in the 5 years sort of crumble, they're not existent. You guys are 4 years, you've already expanded, humble beginnings from garages, combining, looking to expand not only in the gym, but in the mindsets of all the men and women that train with you. Ideally looking for a couple of world champions in the near future. The future is looking bright. What would be, I guess, for someone that's thinking about getting into business or thinking about getting into boxing, what would be a couple of tips or that you would suggest, either making the steps to come into the gym and to start off with getting their fitness in order, or possibly think about taking the leap and getting into business? Both very terrifying, because you know, you don't know, everyone's judging you, don't know if it's going to win or if you're going to make it or fail. Have you got any suggestions in that regards?
Well, to quote one of my favourite fighters, Mike Tyson, everyone has to play the fool. So you're going to learn on the job. Okay, so if you wanted to learn how to box, find yourself a reputable gym with some reputable coaches and put yourself in there. You're not going to be a world champion. It's going to take a long time before you start to develop your skills. Some people have more skills than others, but for the most part, you're going to be the fool for quite some time. And in my experience in business, the same applies. You're going to learn on the job. Experience, like boxing, teaches you everything. You're going to pick things up along the way. You're going to get better and better. You're going to make mistakes. You'll learn from them, and you're only going to get stronger because of that experience.
Good. Learn to play the fool. I like that one. I never heard that one from Mike Tyson, but that, play the fool in the long game and in the fitness, in business, just give it a go. Learn from the lessons, learn from the failures, dust yourself off. Jabe, any sort of tips from you?
Be consistent every single day. Even if you feel like you're achieving fuck all, it's still better than nothing. You know, putting in effort every single day, networking, meeting handsome men like yourself. It's important. I think it's very important. Surrounding yourself with good people. There's that saying, you'll be the 6th of the 5 people you hang around the most, you'll be the 6th person. So true. It's so true. So you just got to force some discomfort, and realize Rome wasn't built in a day. It's going to take time. Make it more of a lifestyle. Look to change your habits. Don't think by the end of this year I want this and that. Just focus on today. What are you going to do today? That's what's most important. And be consistent. That's number one.
Powerful. Being consistent, and also not so much looking for the goal, but making it look like a lifestyle.
100%.
And show up. It's not about getting the win in the ring. It's about going in the distance every time in the ring, every sort of fight, every sort of bout. There's really awesome. Look, guys, we really appreciate your time. I know you got a class about to kick off. I don't think these boys and girls can do any more skipping for too much longer. Where can people find you if they would like to get in touch? How can they find you in that regard?
Well, at the moment we're on all the social media platforms. You can find us at Sledgehammer Boxing. Our gym is located in Ferry Road, so 169 Ferry Road in Waltham, behind the 𝙍𝙧𝙤𝙢𝙢 paints. So there's a car park there, you can pull in opposite the Gentle Giant Cafe, just down the road from the Embankment Hotel or Uprising. You'll find Sledgehammer Boxing nestled in there behind 𝙍𝙧𝙤𝙢𝙢. How good. Well, you heard it there, team. Come check the boys out at Sledgehammer Boxing. Jabe, Shannon, really appreciate your time.
Appreciate you, brother.
Very excited. Might have to take off the suit and put the wraps on very
It's coming.
Kick
off in 5 minutes.
I didn't bring my gym gear.
Yours is mere shorts.
Ranging. I appreciate you, boys.
Champion. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
All right.
Good man.